delete the default cube, import a default cube, delete it again, import it again, and delete it again. We must send them all to the grave. Press Shift A and add a landscape. If you don't have the Landscapes add-on enabled, enable it in your preferences. This is a really great free built-in add-on for Blender. I highly recommend it. There's a lot of settings to play with. My personal favorite is the strata. The strata is the different levels of terrain. So if I change this one to 5, you can see there are now more levels. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to generate masks for texturing these landscapes. The first is fairly simple and straightforward. You simply need to bring in a geometry node, a separate XYZ, and a color ramp. If we take the normal, tangent, or true normal and feed it into the separate XYZ, and then take the Z and plug that into the color ramp and preview it, you can see that we have a mask for the slopes of our terrain. This can be a really great tool. If you also add more sliders to the color ramp, you can have more control. To use this as a mask, you want to mix 2 textures using a mix RGB and use this as the factor. Okay, now I'm going to show you something quite amazing. Okay, we have our landscape. If we go to create, and then we have landscape, which is where you generate your landscape, and then underneath it we have landscape tools, and then we have this button, weight from slope. Click it, and then click OK, and it's going to generate this weight paint for you, which has a lot more detail than the node setup, and it also adds a vertex group. However, there is no vertex group node for us to use this as a mask to control the textures, so what we need is a vertex color. So if you go down to vertex color, name it the same as the vertex group. Then you're going to want to go to vertex paint. Make sure you have the vertex color group selected. Go to paint and hit vertex color from weight. Now you can see this has generated the same map as a vertex color. However, it is not yet applied as a texture. So in the shader editor, add in a vertex color, select the vertex color group we made, and then preview this. And now you can see it affecting. Add a color ramp to better refine it. Again, you can use this as a mask between whatever textures you want. But I'm going to take it one step further. Let's go full on with this. I'm going to bring in another landscape. This time I'm going to change it to a mountain, so we can see this effect better. Once you're happy with the shape of your mountain, give it some more subdivisions, and then go back to your landscape tools. Select Landscape Eroder, and now you have a bunch of parameters to erode your landscape. If I change the instances to 10, you can see that it actually erodes the landscape. This will take longer to calculate based upon how much geometry you're using. You can also see that it is now added a bunch of vertex groups to this mesh, each with a different name, different parameters that we can now use to control particle systems, but also textures. If you're not sure what each of the names of these mean, just Google the word and you'll see exactly what it means, which will help you to find the correct textures you want. So I'm going to choose flow right here. I'm going to create another vertex color group, and I'm going to repeat the same process as earlier. I'm going to go to vertex paint, select paint, and choose vertex color from weight. Now we have that weight paint as a vertex color, which we can now use to control textures. Again, just bring in the vertex color node and a color ramp to refine it. So not only can we use these generated maps to control textures, but also particle systems as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more. If you do enjoy my work and want to support me or have access to all the assets I'm putting out, feel free to subscribe to my Patreon. The link is below. Have a nice one.